Have you ever stood at the edge of a vast, silent valley? You look out over the towering peaks and ancient forests. It's easy to imagine a world far older than our own, a world where giants roamed. Picture this: a massive figure tall as the oldest trees stepping over rivers like they were mere puddles. The ground trembles with each of its steps. This isn't just a scene from a fantasy film. For centuries, people all over the world have told stories of such beings. They believed these giants were real. Every corner of the globe has its own tales of giants. It's a universal theme, a common thread woven into the fabric of human history. In ancient Greece, they spoke of the Titans. These were powerful, gigantic gods who ruled the earth before the Olympians. They were so massive that their battles were said to have shaped the mountains and carved the seas. Travel north to the cold, rugged lands of the Norse. Here you'll find the Jotnar, the frost giants of Jotunheim. They were the sworn enemies of gods like Thor and Odin. The Norse sagas are filled with epic battles between them. In the Americas, the legends are just as vivid. The Paiute people of Nevada tell stories of the Sitka. These were a race of red-haired giants who were said to be cannibals. The Paiute tribes supposedly fought a long, brutal war against them. Further south, the Inca legends speak of giants who came from the sea. They were said to be so tall that an average man could only reach their knees. Even the Bible speaks of giants. The most famous is Goliath, the Philistine champion who was defeated by the young David. The book of Genesis mentions the Nephilim. There were giants in the earth in those days. Across cultures and continents, the story repeats. So why did so many different cultures, separated by vast oceans and thousands of years, all tell stories about giants? The answer lies deep within our survival instincts. For early humans, the world was a terrifying place. It was filled with massive, powerful animals, the woolly mammoth, the cave bear, or the saber-toothed cat. These creatures were giants in their own right, a constant threat. Our survival depended on our wits and our ability to work together. Creating stories about giants was a way to personify these fears. Belief in giants also helped explain the unexplainable. Imagine unearthing a massive bone, far bigger than any known animal. You wouldn't know about dinosaurs or extinct megafauna. The most logical conclusion would be a giant. The same goes for huge stone structures like Stonehenge or the Moai of Easter Island. Attributing their creation to giants was a simple explanation. It filled gaps in knowledge and brought order to a mysterious world. Humans are drawn to things bigger than themselves. Giants tap into that sense of wonder. Stories of heroes defeating giants teach us hope and resilience. The stories are one thing, but for many the hunt for giants is about physical proof. Over the years, countless discoveries have been presented as hard evidence. One of the most common types of proof is the discovery of enormous bones. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, newspapers were filled with sensational reports of gigantic human skeletons being unearthed. Accounts from around the world describe skeletons measuring from 8 feet to a reported 12 feet tall. These finds were often displayed in towns, drawing huge crowds. People saw these bones with their own eyes. For them, this was undeniable proof. Another compelling piece of evidence believers point to are giant footprints. Not just a single track, but multiple prints, seemingly fossilized in solid rock. One of the most famous is the Goliath's footprint in Mpuluzi, South Africa. It's a massive human-like footprint, measuring about 4 feet long, embedded in granite. In other locations, like near Glen Rose, Texas, alleged human footprints have been found alongside dinosaur tracks. This, for some, suggests humans, giant humans, walked the earth with dinosaurs. Beyond bones and footprints, people point to massive artifacts. The stone spheres of Costa Rica, some weighing up to 16 tons, or the enormous stone blocks at Baalbek, which weigh hundreds of tons. How could ancient civilizations have quarried and moved these with simple tools? For many, these megalithic mysteries are the architectural legacy of a forgotten race. The sheer scale defies conventional explanation for some investigators. There are also tantalizing historical accounts. Miners in Lovelock Cave, Nevada, reportedly uncovered very tall, red-haired mummies. These stories feed the belief that a hidden history is being ignored. When faced with a survival situation, you have to be brutally honest about what you're seeing. Wishful thinking can be deadly. Scientists approach the evidence for giants with that same critical mindset. The vast majority of giant human skeletons turn out to be something else entirely. Often they are misidentified bones of large extinct mammals. A mammoth femur mistaken for a human thigh bone, A giant ground sloth femur can do the same, especially when fragmentary. It's an easy mistake without expert knowledge. Many sensational newspaper articles lead to dead ends, staged hoaxes to sell papers. Some were local publicity stunts. Early photo manipulation created false proof. In rare cases of tall skeletons, medical conditions like gigantism explain them. Gigantism, caused by pituitary tumors, produces exceptionally tall individuals, not a separate race. Giant footprints often have geological explanations. Geologists show many are weathered patterns or erosion, not impressions left by feet. Our brains are wired to see patterns. Pareidolia fills in the rest. Tracks found alongside dinosaur prints in Texas have been debunked as misidentified or carved. Megalithic architecture, though mind-boggling, is explained by clever ancient engineering: levers, rollers, ramps, sledges, and coordinated manpower. The line between what we want to believe and what the evidence shows can be blurry. Let's draw a clear line in the sand. On one side, the myth, a powerful and compelling story of wonder and danger. These stories are culturally rich and psychologically important. They explain natural phenomena and taught moral lessons. On the other side, science, evidence, testing, and peer review. Claims become proof only after other explanations are ruled out. So far, there is no credible, verifiable fossil evidence of a race of giant humans. That doesn't mean legends have no value. They are windows into the minds of our ancestors. The myth of giants is testament to human imagination. Facts tell the story of geology, biology, and human ingenuity. Both stories are incredible, but know which one you're listening to. Extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence. A blurry photo, a misidentified bone, or a story passed down through generations isn't enough to rewrite human evolution. As our expedition comes to a close, we stand at a vantage point, looking back at the trail we've covered. We've navigated the dense forests of myth and climbed the rocky cliffs of scientific evidence. One surprising fact: the largest animals to have lived include the blue whale, alive today, and giant sauropods in the past. Our planet has, without a doubt, been a land of giants, just not giant humans. Modern humans carry DNA from other ancient hominins like Neanderthals and Denisovans. We did share the planet with different humans, but fossil and physics constraints make mythical giant humans unlikely. The square cube law is unforgiving. Double height, 4 times the area, 8 times the weight. Bones and physiology don't scale proportionally. We've seen the stories, examined the proof, and listened to the scientific explanations. The evidence for a literal race of giants is thin, often explainable by other means. Yet the legend persists, a whisper on the wind in the world's wild places. There are still mysteries out there. Keep exploring, keep digging, and keep questioning. So after trekking through the myths and the facts, I have one final question for you. What do you believe?